A lot of video game studios laying people off in 2024. We've seen a lot of it. The biggest being Ubisoft. They're probably going to get bought up by Tencent sometime next year. They're not doing very well. One of the last companies I thought I would be talking about when it comes to video game layoffs, though, is Nintendo. And it sounds like they're about to lay off 150 people. Though this is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. This is hitting one of their smaller companies. So they have this Mario Club, which is basically a testing place. This is a bunch of game testers. This is from the Nintendo Wiki. Mario Club is a debugging subsidiary under the Nintendo licensing division in Kyoto. It is sometimes referred to as the Kyoto Research Center. The Super Mario Club are typically credited in many Nintendo games, though they go under various different names, including Super Mario Club and NCL Super Mario Club and the Mario Club Debug Team. And they've been around for a long time, since at least 2009, though I think that there's a game that goes back even further when I was looking at it. But they've been around for a long time. And they have about 400 employees, though that's about to cut down to about, 250. If this is to be believed, it is a leak that I'm going to label as a rumor for now. But this is a little bit different than a game, not doing well. Apparently, they've got a bunch of troublemakers or something. That's the way Nintendo has phrased it in this leak that came out from a site called Leak Press. It's a Japanese outlet. And I'll show you the actual claim here in a second. But the report claims that roughly 150 of the 400 employees at the company are being laid off. They also say that the layoffs are happening to various groups within the company, and it's not targeting a single set of people. The conditions for the layoffs are also listed via the outlet and include employees who cause trouble, in quotes, as well as those who, in quotes, drag their colleagues down. That's interesting. So apparently they've got some people that are troublemakers and they're just trying to get rid of them. However, what they don't talk about this article is that they're putting them in something like those expulsion rooms. So Bandai is got some claims that they're doing this too. And these are basically boredom rooms. There's nothing in them. And this is just from what I've read. I've never seen one of these. The only thing I can think of to compare it to is do you remember, have you ever seen the movie Office Space, where they take Milton, they're trying to get rid of him, so they stick him in the basement in the corner with nothing to do? And they had him kill roaches with bug spray. Now, they don't do that. Apparently, they don't do stuff like that, obviously. But basically, they just put you in a room, and there's nothing in there, and they're trying to bore you into leaving. They want you to quit. And this is something that happens, it seems like, quite a bit in Japan. I don't know their labor laws or how things work over there, but I'm guessing, some of these people have contracts and they want them to break them, or they're going to have to pay some kind of a severance. So, hey, we'll just stick you in this room where you can go insane. I wonder if they check on them. Oh, they better not have a switch in there or a computer. So imagine having to go in and stare at a wall for 8 hours or however long they work. I mean, Japanese people work insane hours, so it might be even longer than that. But this is what they're claiming they're doing. So they're putting them in so-called eviction rooms. Remember, Bandai was accused of this too, though they claim they're not. I guess it's frowned upon. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, it is kind of shitty to do to someone, but apparently these employees are troublemakers, or at least they're labeling them as troublemakers. It's just an odd thing to hear from Nintendo, some shit like this. It's difficult to tell if it's an eviction room at first glance, of course. However, it appears that the aim is to fire these 150 or so employees. The specific situation is described below. Personnel who are previously divided into different titles will now be consolidated into one place regardless of title. As a result, the group of capable employees working on the front lines and employees who do normal work is filled with employees who don't do their work, employees who cause trouble, and employees who hold their colleagues back in it or force them to take leave or quit. As a result of the above, the situation on the scene became hellish. As a result of these factors, several employees have developed mental illnesses. The company's policy is not to raise salaries no matter how much employees achieve, so there is no wage disparity between talented employees and employees who do not work. The salaries of employees at the affected sites are lower than the salaries of entry-level employees, and even employees who have worked there for around 20 years are struggling to make ends meet. In contrast, the executives who set up the eviction rooms are receiving salaries several times higher. There are also reports that there is no forum for voicing opinions to higher-ups, and then executives have made it very clear they have no intention of listening. And they will continue to cover it. So this is, I changed this. This is Google translated, so some things might be lost here. I just want to point that out. But this is a Japanese site dedicated to rumors and leaks. They got some Bandai stuff here about job changing, Bandai Namco Studios staff reductions. I've talked about that before. Some more Bandai stuff. So Bandai's all over here. So interesting stuff. We'll find out if it's true or not very soon, I'm sure. But kind of sad because, you know, Nintendo puts out pretty good products. This outlet specifically focuses on Mario titles, though apparently, as you can see here, they've also done Zelda stuff and some other first-party stuff. But from what I've read about the Super Mario Club is they mostly debug and test Mario games exclusively. But they do dip their toes into other areas. Like, I don't see Echoes of Time in here, but you see a lot of Zelda stuff and so on and so on. Diddy Kong, Pokemon Stadium, Mother 3's on here. Kind of sucks because like Nintendo having stuff like this is, I think, you know, what really helps their quality. I wonder what's really going on over there. I feel like we're getting part of the story, not the entire thing. But it's still wild to hear stuff like this. Like Nintendo laying off 150 people. We never read very much stuff about Nintendo laying people off because out of all the other companies, you know, they're doing pretty damn good. Switch 2, I would imagine, will be announced sometime, maybe this year or early next year. And I'm sure that thing is going to sell like gangbusters. And, you know, them actually having a robust play testing company is great. And other companies do have them, but Nintendo, I think, really keeps it a step up. So if they really do have a lot of shitty employees, I guess that is one way to deal with them. It's just wild to have categories where one is employees who cause trouble, and then there's also employees who drag their colleagues down. It's wild shit, man. So I'll keep an eye on this. I'll let you know what's going on. And let me know what you think about all this in the comments. What are your thoughts? Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.